My wife told me she wanted more excitement, but assured me I'd always be her husband. I said nothing. The next morning, she woke up to my closet empty, my number blocked, and a note on the bed that read, "Enjoy your freedom. I already am." I never thought I'd be here writing this, but I guess life has a way of throwing you into situations you never saw coming. My wife, Samantha, and I had been together for 14 years, married for 10. No kids, by choice. We lived in Houston, had good jobs, a comfortable life, and what I thought was a stable marriage. We had the usual ups and downs, but nothing that ever felt like a real threat. I thought we were solid. I was wrong. It started on an ordinary Thursday night. We had just finished dinner, nothing fancy, just some pasta and wine at home. She was quiet for most of the meal, staring at her glass more than usual, and I remember thinking she had something on her mind. I asked her if she was okay, and she hesitated before looking up at me. Her face was serious, her fingers tapping against the stem of her wine glass. "I feel like I need more excitement in my life," she said. At first, I thought she meant a career change, maybe a big trip somewhere, something new to break the routine. I smiled and asked, "What kind of excitement?" She sighed, setting her glass down, then reached for my hand. "I love you," she said, squeezing my fingers. "You're my best friend. You always will be. But I feel restless." I didn't like where this was going. I pulled my hand back and frowned. "Restless how?" She swallowed hard. "I think I need to explore. To experience more. I don't want to lose us, but I need something different." I stared at her, the words settling like a heavy weight in my chest. "Are you saying you want to open the marriage?" Her eyes darted away for a second before meeting mine again. "Not exactly," she said quickly. "Not a full open marriage. Just some freedom. I don't want to fall out of love with you. I just feel like I've been missing out on something. But I don't want to lie to you, so I'm telling you the truth. I'd always come home to you. You're my person." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. My wife, the woman I had built a life with, was sitting across from me and telling me she wanted to sleep with other people but still keep me as her husband. Like I was some kind of safety net, a security blanket she could always crawl back to after she was done exploring. I felt sick. I leaned back in my chair and exhaled slowly. "You want permission to cheat," I said. She flinched but didn't argue. "It wouldn't be cheating," she said. "Because you'd know. I just want to feel alive again. But I'd always come home to you." Something inside me snapped into place right then. A cold realization. This wasn't the woman I thought I married. Or maybe she was, and I just never saw it before. Either way, she had just killed our marriage in one conversation. I didn't yell. I didn't argue. I didn't demand answers or tell her how disgusted I was. I just nodded, stood up, and cleared the plates like it was any other night. She looked relieved, like she thought I understood, like she believed I would come around. Maybe she assumed I'd let her do what she wanted while I sat back and accepted it. She had no idea. That night, I lay in bed beside her, staring at the ceiling, replaying our entire relationship in my head. The trips, the anniversaries, the inside jokes, the quiet moments. And then I replayed what she had just told me. The way she said she'd always come home, to me, as if I was some unshakable foundation she could rely on while she chased whatever thrill she thought she was missing. At 4 a.m, I got up. She was asleep, peaceful, unaware. I grabbed a duffel bag, packed clothes, my laptop, my essentials. I sat at my desk, took a deep breath, and wrote a note. "Enjoy your freedom. I already am." I placed it on the bed beside her, where she'd see it first thing in the morning. Then I walked out. I blocked her number before I even reached my car. Deleted her from everything. I checked into a hotel across town and booked it for a week. By sunrise, I had already emailed a divorce lawyer. I wasn't going to be anyone's backup plan. I expected her to go crazy. And I was right. She called my friends first. Then my mom. Then my work email. The messages started off panicked. "Where are you? Why won't you answer me? Please, just talk to me." Then came the anger. "So you're just going to run? You're overreacting. You're being a child." When I ignored that, the guilt tripping started. "I made a mistake. I love you. Don't throw everything away over one conversation." But that's the thing. She had already thrown it all away. She just hadn't realized it yet. My best friend Tyler met me at a bar that weekend. "Dude, are you sure this is what you want?" I took a sip of my drink. "She wanted to screw other guys and have me be okay with it," I said. "She thought I'd just wait around while she got it out of her system." "What kind of life is that?" He sighed. Yeah, I get that. For weeks, our mutual friends kept me updated. She's a mess. She regrets everything. She cries all the time. I read the messages, but I felt nothing. I found an apartment, signed the lease, moved out for good. I focused on work, hit the gym more, started paying attention to things I had let slip. It felt good. One night, Tyler and I were out, and I saw her across the bar. She looked different. More makeup, tight dress, fake smile. She saw me too. A few minutes later, she texted me. "You look good." I let the message sit there. Then I deleted it. Because here's the thing about people who take you for granted. They only realize what they had when it's gone. The message sat in my mind longer than it did on my phone. Not because I cared, not because I missed her, but because I could feel what she was doing. She was reaching, testing, trying to see if there was still a way back in. If I still had a weak spot for her. She had spent years knowing I would always be there, always steady, always her home. Now, for the first time, she wasn't so sure. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. But the universe has a funny way of bringing unfinished business back around. A week later, I was at my gym, nothing fancy, just a quiet place downtown where I could focus. I had lost some weight, put on muscle, started taking care of myself in ways I never had before. It felt good to move, to be in control. I was in the middle of my set when I heard a familiar voice. Oh, come on, let me just talk to him. My stomach tightened. I turned my head, and there she was, Samantha, standing at the front desk, arguing with the receptionist. She looked different, but not in a good way. The confidence she used to wear like armor was cracked. She looked anxious, restless, like someone who hadn't been sleeping well. The receptionist, a young guy I had gotten to know over the past few months, glanced over at me. Hey, man, she says she knows you. Want me to ask her to leave? I held his gaze for a second, then sighed and set my weights down. Nah, I'll handle it. I walked over. She turned as I approached, and for a second, I saw something flash in her eyes. Regret? Relief? I didn't know, and I didn't care. Samantha, I said, keeping my voice flat. Her lips parted like she was about to say something, but no words came out. She swallowed, then forced a small smile. Hey. I crossed my arms. Why are you here? She shifted on her feet. I needed to see you. You won't answer my messages. That's not an accident. She winced but nodded. I deserve that. I know I do. But I need to talk to you. You lost that right, I said. You don't get to pick when I listen to you. Her face twisted. Can we just sit down for a second? Please. The old me, the me from 6 months ago, would have caved. Would have agreed just to make things easier. But that man was gone. I turned to the receptionist. She's not a member. Make sure she doesn't come back in. Then I turned my back on her and walked away. I expected that to be the end of it. But Samantha had never been the type to let go without a fight. A few nights later, I was at home, stretched out on my couch, watching some random documentary, when my phone lit up with an unknown number. I let it ring. Then another call came through. Then another. Something in my gut told me to answer. I sighed and picked up. A deep voice on the other end. Hey, is this my name? I sat up, immediately on edge. Who's asking? A pause. Then, it's Jason. I didn't recognize the name at first. Then it clicked. Jason, one of Samantha's coworkers. What the hell do you want? I asked, already feeling my blood pressure spike. Another pause. Then he sighed. Listen, man, I don't know how to say this, so I'll just say it. I think you need to know. Samantha and I clenched my jaw. Say it. She told me you guys had an open marriage. That it was your idea. That you didn't want to know details, just as long as she was happy. I believed her. But now she's been acting weird, like she's waiting for something. And I started putting things together. And I feel like I got played. My stomach turned to stone. I gripped the phone so hard my knuckles went white. She told you that? I asked, my voice eerily calm. Yeah, Jason said. For a while, I thought it was true. She seemed so sure. And look, man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get involved in your marriage. I thought you knew. I should have been angry, furious. But all I felt was a cold, quiet realization. She hadn't just betrayed me. She had rewritten the story in her favor. She had made me the one who wanted it. I took a slow breath. Does she know you're calling me? No, Jason said. She'd kill me if she knew. But I needed to say something. I don't think she's over you, man. I think she's trying to drag you back into something. I closed my eyes, running a hand down my face. Listen, Jason, you need to stay away from her. She'll wreck you just like she wrecked me. He sighed. Yeah, I'm starting to see that. I hung up. Then, for the first time in months, I felt the rage rise inside me. Samantha hadn't just tried to get me to accept her infidelity. She had gone around telling other men that it was my idea, that I was the one who encouraged it, that I was some pathetic fool sitting at home, happy to let her screw whoever she wanted. I needed to end this. For good. That phone call from Jason changed everything. It wasn't just about Samantha cheating anymore. She had rewritten history, twisted the truth so she could do whatever she wanted without guilt. She had painted me as some clueless, weak husband who had given her permission to sleep around. And I wondered how many other people believed that version of the story. How many other men had she lied to? I wasn't just going to sit back and let that slide. I didn't call her. I didn't text. Instead, I decided to pay her a little visit. The next evening, I drove to the townhouse we used to share. I knew she was still living there, and I figured it was time for a real conversation, not for closure. I didn't need closure. I just needed to see the look on her face when she realized she had finally, truly lost control. Her car was in the driveway. Lights on. I knocked. It took her a second, but when she opened the door and saw me standing there, her eyes widened. For a brief moment, she looked happy. My name, we need to talk, I said flatly. She hesitated, then stepped aside. Come in. I walked in, and it hit me how different the place felt. Like a hollow shell of what used to be home. There were still pictures of us on the walls, our old furniture in the same places, but it was off. It felt cold. She sat on the couch, tucking her legs under her, acting like we were about to have some heartfelt reunion. You lied about me, I said, getting straight to the point. She stiffened. What? You told Jason I wanted an open marriage. That it was my idea. Her face went pale. You did, didn't you? I said. And don't bother lying. He called me. She opened her mouth, then closed it. Her hands fidgeted in her lap. It wasn't like that. I laughed, but there was no humor in it. Then how was it, Samantha? She exhaled sharply, looking down. I didn't know how else to explain it, she mumbled. If I told him the truth, he wouldn't have. I cut her off. He wouldn't have slept with you? Her silence was answer enough. I shook my head. Jesus. And how many others? How many guys did you tell that lie to? She bit her lip. It wasn't. Save it, I snapped. I don't care. You can sleep with whoever you want. You can lie to yourself all you want. But you don't get to rewrite my story. You don't get to drag my name through the mud to make yourself feel better. She looked up, eyes wet. I miss you. I almost laughed again. You miss me? You miss the guy you cheated on? The guy you lied about? The guy you made look like a fool? Tears started spilling down her cheeks. I know I messed up. I know I ruined everything. But I've been miserable without you. I stared at her, at the woman I once thought I'd grow old with, and realized something. I felt nothing. No anger. No pain. No desire to comfort her. She was just someone I used to know. I turned to leave. She grabbed my arm. Wait. Please. I pulled away. There's nothing left to say, Samantha. I walked out and didn't look back. Or at least, I thought that was the end of it. A week later, I got an unexpected visitor. It was Natalie. Now let me explain. Natalie was Samantha's best friend. They had known each other for years, practically inseparable. When the divorce started, I assumed Natalie had taken Samantha's side. She had stopped talking to me, unfollowed me on everything. As far as I was concerned, she was part of Samantha's world. So when I opened my apartment door and saw her standing there, arms crossed, looking like she had just walked out of a storm, I was caught off guard. Natalie, we need to talk, she said, pushing past me into my apartment. Okay, come in, I guess. I closed the door, still confused. What's going on? She turned to face me, eyes sharp. How much do you really know about what Samantha's been up to? I frowned. I know enough. She scoffed. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't be so calm right now. Something in her tone made my stomach tighten. She sighed, rubbing her temples. Listen, I wasn't going to tell you this. I thought it was her place. But after seeing how she's handled things, screw it. Natalie, I said, my patience thinning. Just say it. She exhaled sharply. Samantha is pregnant. I went completely still. My ears started ringing. For a moment, I thought I hadn't heard her right. What? I finally managed. She looked at me, dead serious. She's pregnant. And she has no idea who the father is. I felt like the floor had just dropped out from under me. My stomach turned. My vision blurred at the edges. How long have you known? I asked, my voice dangerously low. A few weeks, she admitted. She told me right after you left. But she begged me not to tell you. Said she wasn't sure what she was going to do. That she needed time. I swallowed, my throat dry. And why are you telling me now? Because, Natalie said, she's planning to tell people it's yours. I stared at her, trying to process what she had just said. Samantha knows she's screwed up beyond fixing, Natalie continued. She knows you're done with her. But this is her last card to play. She thinks if she tells you she's carrying your baby, you might come back. I clenched my fists. You're sure she doesn't know who the father is? I asked. Positive, Natalie said. She admitted it to me. But that's not going to stop her from trying to pin it on you. I took a slow, deep breath. Samantha had already lied about me once. Lied to Jason, lied to God knows how many other guys. But this was next level. I looked at Natalie. Does she know you're telling me this? No, she said. And I don't care if she finds out. I ran a hand down my face, trying to think. I knew one thing for sure. This wasn't over. Not even close. The second Natalie left, I sat down at my kitchen table, hands gripping the edge so hard my knuckles went white. My mind was spinning. Samantha was pregnant. And she was going to tell people the baby was mine. Even though she had no idea who the father was. Even though she had no right to drag me back into her mess. I should have expected something like this. Samantha had never been the type to take full responsibility. She always found a way to spin things, to turn herself into the victim, to make it seem like she was just a poor, misunderstood soul who deserved another chance. But this was next-level manipulation. I wasn't going to let it happen. I didn't call her. I didn't text. Instead, I let her come to me. Sure enough, 2 days later, my phone rang. Unknown number. I let it go to voicemail. A minute later, another call. Then another. Then, finally, a text. Samantha, please pick up. I need to talk to you. It's important. I stared at the screen, feeling the anger rise in my chest. I knew exactly what she was about to do. So I called her bluff. I replied, me, if it's important, we'll talk in person. My place. Tonight. She answered immediately. Samantha, okay. I'll be there. I had no doubt she thought this was her moment. That she had found the one thing that would force me to come back. She was wrong. That night, I sat in my apartment, calm, waiting. The second I heard her knock, I opened the door. Samantha stood there, hands resting over her stomach like she was already playing the part. She stepped inside, her eyes scanning the place, her expression unreadable. You look good, she said quietly. I didn't reply. Say what you need to say. She swallowed, shifting on her feet. Then, finally, she looked up. I'm pregnant. I didn't blink. I know. She hesitated. I wanted to tell you myself. I crossed my arms. And? What does this have to do with me? Her lower lip trembled, and she put her hand over her stomach again, like she was trying to make the image stick in my head. It's yours. I let the silence stretch between us. Let her believe, for one long moment, that she had one. Then I leaned forward. No, it's not. Her face twitched. How can you say that? You won't even. Because I know you, Samantha, I said, my voice calm. I know exactly what you've been doing. I know about Jason. And I know you told him the same thing. Her mouth fell open. I took a slow step forward. So let me ask you something. How many other guys did you tell? Or were you just planning to pick whoever was dumb enough to believe you first? Her breathing was shaky now. I wasn't done. You told me you wanted to explore. That you needed freedom. But you never even bothered to be careful, did you? You just threw everything away, and now you want me to come in and clean up your mess. Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't plan for this. But you sure as hell planned to lie about it. I shot back. She gasped, stepping backward like I had slapped her. Her face crumpled, and for the first time, she looked truly afraid. Not afraid of me. Afraid because she knew I had her cornered. She had spent months trying to control the narrative, trying to make herself look like the victim. But now, there was no more hiding. She covered her face with her hands, shoulders shaking. I don't know what to do, she whispered. For a moment, I almost felt bad. Almost. But then I remembered who I was dealing with. I exhaled, shaking my head. Samantha, I don't care what you do. But whatever it is, you're doing it without me. She looked up, eyes red. You don't mean that. I do, I said. And I'll tell you something else. If you try to drag my name into this, if you try to tell one more person that this baby is mine, I will make sure everyone knows the truth. Everyone. She let out a choked sob, shaking her head. Please, no, I said. You made your choice. And now you get to live with it. Her legs gave out, and she collapsed onto the couch, sobbing into her hands. But I didn't comfort her. I didn't tell her it would be okay, because it wasn't my problem anymore. I walked to the door and opened it. Samantha, I said, my voice steady. Get out. For a long moment, she didn't move. Then, finally, she stood up, wiping her face, her whole body trembling. She looked at me like she wanted to say something, one last plea, one last excuse. But she must have seen it in my eyes. That it was over. She walked past me, out the door, into the night. And I closed it behind her. Samantha didn't call again. She didn't text. Over the next few weeks, I heard bits and pieces from friends. She moved out of our old house. She cut ties with a lot of people. She tried to reach out to Jason, but he wanted nothing to do with her either. And the baby? Still a mystery. She disappeared from my life, just like I knew she would. And me? I moved on. I stopped thinking about her. I stopped feeling anything about her. I let go. Because the truth was, I had already lost her long before that conversation at the dinner table. She just didn't realize it until it was too late. I was free. And I never looked back.